Something metallic was bleeding through the vast emptiness of space, and it definitely wasn't from Earth. The mysterious object, later named 3 Atlas, was slicing through the solar system at over 130,000 miles per hour, when astronomers detected something that shattered every expectation. This wasn't just another frozen wanderer from beyond the stars. It was an object leaking nearly 10 pounds of pure nickel every single second. Not a random mixture of metals, not a cosmic blend of iron and dust, but refined nickel separated in a way that nature itself never does. What made it even more chilling was the absence of iron, nickel's usual atomic twin forged together in the hearts of dying stars. Its chemical composition seemed impossibly pure, so unnatural that researchers began whispering the unthinkable. Perhaps this wasn't a comet or asteroid at all. Maybe it wasn't even natural. And then the signals began. Across observatories and deep space sensors, faint but deliberate pulses started to emerge, patterns that didn't align with any known natural radio emission or background radiation. They were too structured, too intentional. The scientific community moved from awe to confusion, and from confusion to quiet fear. Because if 3I Atlas wasn't a rock, then what was it? When the object was first spotted on July 1, 2025, from a Chilean observatory, it was already racing across the heavens. Initially, it was celebrated as a rare discovery, an interstellar object, only the 3rd ever seen passing through our solar system. But that excitement quickly turned into concern when data from the Very Large Telescope came in. The glowing coma around the object wasn't made of water vapor, ice or carbon compounds like normal comets. It was venting pure nickel. Now, nickel isn't rare in space, but pure nickel without iron? That's like finding a bar of gold buried inside a coal mine. It simply doesn't happen naturally. Such separation would require advanced processing, smelting, chemical isolation, and tremendous energy. That meant technology. One Harvard astrophysicist put it bluntly, "This isn't a rock. It's engineered." And just like that, 3 Atlas went from a cosmic curiosity to a possible case of contact. Further studies only deepened the mystery. Using its unparalleled infrared capabilities, the James Webb Space Telescope examined the emissions from 3 Atlas and uncovered a shocking fact. The object had the highest carbon dioxide to water ratio ever recorded, 8 parts CO2 to 1 part water. Typical comets in our solar system hover around 4% CO2, making this one completely alien in composition. It wasn't just chemically strange, it was incompatible with any known planetary formation process. If it came from another star, it should share some recognizable patterns of familiar elements. But 3I Atlas defied all known rules. It seemed designed, constructed even, as if carrying materials with a purpose. But what purpose? Its movement through space only deepened suspicion. Interstellar visitors usually zip through the solar system on chaotic paths, but 3 Atlas seemed to follow a deliberate course. It passed near Venus, then Mars, and then Jupiter, all in one sequence, an event with odds so tiny that scientists estimated the probability at 0.005%. Even stranger, it moved on a retrograde orbit, against the direction of every planet like a car speeding the wrong way down a one-way street. And when it reached its closest point to the Sun, it did so behind it, hidden from Earth's best instruments, almost as if avoiding observation. Each of these factors, its path, its timing, its direction, made no sense for a natural object. But if it was designed, suddenly everything fit. Soon signals began to appear again, not in sound or light, but in the chemical ratios of its emissions. Some researchers proposed that the nickel-to-carbon proportions and the missing iron were part of a coded message, a metallic Morse code. If so, this was communication in its most alien form, not sound waves but chemistry. The idea wasn't new. SETI researchers had long theorized that advanced civilizations might use universal mathematical or molecular constants to send messages. If true, 3 Atlas wasn't just traveling, it was testing. It might be a von Neumann probe, a self-replicating robotic scout designed to explore or evaluate civilizations like ours. Then came the gravitational anomalies. Observatories monitoring nearby asteroids began to notice small, inexplicable shifts in their orbits. They weren't caused by sunlight, collisions, or gravity from other planets. The only common link was that each affected asteroid had recently passed near 3I Atlas's path. That led to a chilling possibility: localized gravitational manipulation. It was as if the object was subtly shaping the space around it. Scientists called it gravitational whispering, faint distortions barely measurable unless you were specifically looking. If true, it suggested the object might be mapping our solar system's gravitational field, or probing how easily it could be altered. Then the James Webb telescope made an even more disturbing discovery. Using its mid-infrared instrument, MIRI, scientists measured not just reflected sunlight from the object's surface, but also internal heat. Strangely, instead of cooling as it drifted farther from the sun, its core was heating up. The heat was steady, rhythmic, and too controlled to be natural. It wasn't decay or friction. It behaved like a reactor, a stable, pulsing source of energy repeating every 51.2 minutes, later shifting to exactly 17.07 minutes, the same intervals as the gravitational distortions. Coincidence? Not likely. It was coordination. Then came something even stranger, from the moon. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter detected an electromagnetic echo on the dark side of the moon that mirrored 3E Atlas's metallic frequencies. It was as though something beneath the lunar surface was responding. Either the object had activated something on the moon, or something had been waiting for its signal. That raised a stunning possibility. The moon might not just be a natural satellite, but part of a planned route. Maybe 3E Atlas hadn't come to explore, but to reconnect. And then silence. The emissions, the heat, the nickel vapor, all stopped abruptly and simultaneously. No gradual fading, no decay. Just an instant, deliberate shutdown. The timing? Exactly 1 hour after the moon's echo was detected. Some speculated that the object had completed a transmission. Others feared it had switched into stealth mode. Whatever it was, it no longer behaved like an object. It behaved like an intelligence. When AI-based analysis tools were later applied to the earlier signals, something incredible emerged. Hidden within the metallic frequency data were microbursts, tiny high-frequency digital modulations. When decoded, they revealed algorithmic patterns as if 3E Atlas had been transmitting binary data using chemistry itself. It was communicating all along, in a language we didn't recognize until now. The terrifying part wasn't just what the message might say, but who it was meant for. Then another revelation. An unrelated deep space radio burst FRB 2221124A showed an almost identical modulation structure. But that signal had originated from a galaxy 400 million light-years away. That meant one of two things. Either this was a universal communication system, or both events were connected. And if they were connected, then 3E Atlas wasn't alone. It was part of something far larger, a network, a system, maybe even a fleet. As fear spread quietly through scientific and military channels, astronomers attempting to recalibrate Webb's optical instruments made another astonishing observation. A faint lensing effect appeared around 3E Atlas, not gravitational but something else. The light from background stars distorted around it, suggesting an active field like a cloaking device. The field pulsed in sync with the object's earlier microbursts, implying it might be reacting to observation. When we looked at it, it looked back. Then the unthinkable, a synchronized blackout. Every major observatory tracking the object, Hawaii, Chile, South Africa, Australia, even Antarctica, lost visual and telemetry data for exactly 37 seconds. When the systems came back online, the object had subtly altered its trajectory by 0.008 degrees. Minuscule but deliberate. It hadn't just noticed our observation, it adapted to it. Leaked internal documents from the European Space Agency revealed what happened next. Military-grade infrared satellites had detected a thermal bloom emanating from 3E Atlas. A geometric, hexagonal radiative pattern impossible in nature. It lasted just 1.3 seconds before vanishing. Whatever this object was, it was active and hiding. Soon after, magnetometers orbiting Earth detected faint fluctuations in the planet's Van Allen belts. These occurred exactly when 3I Atlas aligned with Earth's orbital plane and passed behind the Sun. There were no solar flares, no storms, just unexplained magnetic disturbances. Some suspected it was scanning Earth's magnetic field, or worse, mimicking it. Then seismic sensors in the Indian Ocean recorded ultra-low frequency vibrations unlike any quake or underwater explosion. The pulses came every 12 minutes, traveling upward, as if targeting satellites. Analysts dubbed it the soundless impact. It seemed 3A Atlas was communicating through the Earth itself, and then came the final confirmation. A small commercial CubeSat began to malfunction, cooling rapidly, spinning erratically, and then transmitting a signal it had never been programmed to send. That signal matched the microburst pattern from 3E Atlas. The satellite had become a relay, a node in the network. The object hadn't just visited Earth's neighborhood. It had used our technology to extend its reach. What began as a simple metallic object drifting through space has now revealed itself to be something far beyond our comprehension. 3S Atlas is not a comet, not an asteroid, and certainly not a coincidence. It's a machine, a messenger, and perhaps a memory. Every emission, every distortion, every silence has been whispering the same thing: you were never alone. Its orbit defied physics. Its structure defied chemistry. Its silence was intentional. And when it seeded its signal into our oceans, satellites, and magnetic field, it wasn't beginning a dialogue. It was activating one. The CubeSat's transmission wasn't a glitch. It was a handshake, a test we unknowingly passed. 3 Atlas didn't come here to visit. It came because it already knew us, because it's been here before. And now, as its message echoes invisibly through our planet's magnetic shell, one question remains, the one that terrifies every scientist who's seen the data.